Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Phantom Frequency, where we get into the entire multiverse of pop culture, if you will. Doesn't matter if it's anime, TV shows, movies, anything and all the above, we talk about it around here. So make sure you're supporting the channel by clicking the buttons below, hopping into the comment section, and getting into the discussion here with us. But today, we're going to be talking about my most anticipated TV series of the entire year, y'all. That's right. We're diving back into the world of DC Comics. We're diving back into the world of the Batman with Penguin's premiere, baby. Penguin episode 1 finally dropped over this past week. And let me tell you what, y'all, this episode, this premiere, this is how you do television, man. This was an excellent fucking premiere episode, man, where we dived into pretty much all the subplots, all the characters, all the threads we're going to be getting into over the course of the season and really getting a firm understanding of who Oswald Cobb, not Oswald Cobblepot. We'll get more into that in a minute, but we get a lot more into the psyche of the Penguin, understanding what makes him who he is, what makes him the man that he is, what are his goals, what are his ambitions, what are his values, and what makes him tick. You know what I'm saying? And you really get a firm understanding of the character and understanding what Colin Farrell's version of the Penguin is really about and what this show is going to be about. And that's the number one thing I want to highlight right here at the top of my review or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This discussion. I absolutely love that. I love when a TV series just has that really awesome focus and that vision for the series, and they really just understand exactly where they want to take the story and what characters they want to use in order to tell that story and just make them also interesting and rich and well-rounded. And you already get a sense of who all these characters are for the most part, and we're just going to delve even deeper as each episode comes along, as it premieres every week. And I love that aspect about this. Another thing that's so awesome is the fact that they were able to truly maintain the tone and the atmosphere of the Batman from 2022. You know, the cinematography, the set design, the score, the vibe, the direction feels just like Matt Reeves literally just said, cut, took a break, went right back to it, got Colin Farrell up in the Penguin makeup, told Robert Pattinson to take a vacation, and they just shot a whole TV series right when the movie finished. Because it literally picks up at the very end of the Batman film where Penguin's overlooking the city all flooded after the Riddler blew it all to hell, got arrested in Arkham, had his whole conversation with the Joker. Who knows what the hell that's going to bring in the future. But this is literally right at the end of the Batman where the Riddler's fucked up Gotham. The mayor barely got out alive, and now they have to do the rescue and try to restore Gotham back to where it was. The drops and everything like that. The crime is going up, you know, and there's a power vacuum, obviously, with the Riddler sniping and taking out Falcone. Now there's going to be a big power vacuum that Penguin is definitely going to want to seize. And this is what I think is going to be the direction of the character as well, and show his ascension to power and potentially taking out the Falcones and the Mulronis and the Maronis all at once, and maybe with one foul swoop, maybe if he can find his way to outsmart them or just bullshit his way through his thing like he always seems to be able to do and just pull it through in the last second, maybe him and Victor can come up and become the new kingpin in Gotham City. You know what I'm saying? And the Iceberg Lounge gets a whole fucking redo and he levels up. You know what I'm saying? Because presidential rollies, I take big risks. You know what I mean? Shout out to Schoolboy Q on that. So I just love the way that we delve all into just what it's about. You get a firm understanding of that, but the tone, the atmosphere, everything's there. And obviously, Colin Farrell is excellent in the show. No duh. He was great in just the limited screen time he had in the Batman. But here in this series where he really gets to chew on the scenery and really gets to delve all into this character and do the monologues and really put the waddle into his performance, put these weird neck movements and really just get to bask in everything that he's trying to bring to this character. It comes across so fucking awesome, man. It is so vintage comic book Penguin, but at the same time, it fits the vision of what they want to do for this take on the Penguin without sacrificing some of the core values and some of the things that really gives the Penguin his identity as a character. And I love the way that they're able to do that, but imbue it with a little bit of that Tony Soprano, a little bit of that Tony Montana energy, and give it some of that Scorsese, Italian mobster, you know what I'm saying, Francis Ford Coppola vibe to this thing. You know what I'm saying? It feels like the best parts about like Goodfellas, Godfather, and Scarface all kind of blended together. You know what I'm saying? And showing someone that's money hungry and hungry for power, hungry for fame, hungry to be taken and accepted and taken seriously. A little bit of that Tony Soprano, but at the same time, it has some of that classic feel and a little bit of that slow burn that the Francis Ford Coppola Godfather films have. So I love the way that they're able to kind of blend these influences and, you know, some of these tropes and the Scorsese vibes and all that into the series, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's completely detached from what makes Gotham City a character in and of its own right and what it is from the iconography of the comics and the source material. That's all still really well intact and really makes it feel like this mucky, grimy, like dirty city that is Gotham City. So I love the way that they're able to seamlessly blend these two worlds together and these influences to make something that does feel wholly fresh but familiar at the same time. And that's the best blend for me when movies or TV shows, animes, you know, stories, whatever, what have you, when they're able to blend something that you're familiar with, but bring you something new and original and still keep that essence, especially when it's an adaptation of something like myself. I'm a huge Batman fan, always have been for pretty much my entire life. So I'm all into the lore. I love all this stuff, all the crime families, all that stuff. I've always always been very well versed in. So getting to see it all play out here on screen in such a very detailed way is really fucking awesome, man. But now we're gonna dive into some of the recap portions of this thing and get into some of the big plot points and what's really setting up the show and where things could go, obviously. So you got the big beginning of the episode where they have the whole news montage talking about what happened at the end of the Batman, talking about the Bat Vigilante helping them save hundreds of people on top of the Gotham Staples Center, if you will. But you know, they allude to all that, but we don't get any mentions of Batman from that point. They transition over to the Penguin going into the Iceberg Lounge that's still all in disarray in order to retrieve some jewels and a lot of evidence and things that he can use to blackmail people in order to have leverage in order to do and you know, rise through the ranks as he's planning on doing here. And you already see right off the bat he gets caught by Alberto Falcone, Falcone's son there, that's supposed to be taking over the operation as the new Don. And he almost gets caught stealing the shit, but then he's able to swerve it and make it seem like he was getting the stuff for him. And obviously we know he wasn't. But I love how he just gets his little, he got the sledgehammer and he's all breaking into the safe and shit and almost gets caught red fucking handed. And that's kind of an element of the Penguin's character that I love so much, that he's able to always get himself out of a situation simply by being able to be very manipulative and being very good in conversation and being able to negotiate and kind of bullshit his way through everything with such confidence and such conviction in what he's saying. It's almost hard to tell if he's lying or not, but he'll definitely throw you under the bridge. He'll throw you under the bus, I mean, real quick and under a bridge to get out of a situation. So I love getting to see this whole back and forth with Oswald here and Alberto Falcone. And when he's talking about this whole gangster back in the day, I can't remember the name right now, but he was talking about this gangster that he looked up to that was out there helping people, really doing the thing, really being almost like a mayor of the neighborhood in a sense, but like an unofficial mayor, you know what I mean? And the fact that people actually held and celebrated had a parade to commemorate his life and everything in his death. It was so inspiring to the Penguin, and he was sharing this whole story with Alberto Falcone when they're having this conversation about him taking over the biz and this new version of the drops and this new shipment of this new drug is going to come in. It's going to revolutionize the entire game. You know what I'm saying? And then when Penguin goes into his whole diatribe, his whole awesome ass monologue that Colin Farrell gets to perform right there, Alberto Falcone literally laughs in his face and is like, no one's gonna want to fucking have a parade with your dumb face on a float, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You ain't that guy. Like, you're just a little bitch. Like, he literally calls him a little bitch. And then Penguin just out of nowhere shoots this fool 3-4 times straight in the chest, bro, and kills him on sight. Like, he'll slide on a nigga real quick, bro. Like, and he ain't giving a fuck. But then he realizes he kind of fucked up at the end of it. But I just love that impulse control that he does not have over himself and just completely just fucks himself over almost. And now you see this is the big inciting incident that sets up all the events of the show, but is also going to make it possible for him to rise through the ranks in a quicker way than him having to try to manipulate the system with Alberto Falcone really running shit, where he can kind of kill him off the grid in a location that was kind of secluded at the moment and had very little witnesses. So it was kind of a smart thing, kind of, you know, but also a dumb thing at the same time. And then, you know, as we transition from there, he's going outside to get rid of the body and all that and get back into his purple Maserati, or Plum, I should say. He runs into the character Victor Aguilar and his homies trying to steal the rims, Jason Todd style, man. He's trying to steal that shit. And he starts shooting at him like all wild and crazy, ends up shooting his own car. And he ended up catching Victor Aguilar as the last one left. And he's about to blast him away. But then homie starts stuttering. He's like, wait, stop. and all that stuff. And then that's when Penguin kind of recognizes he's got a disability. So he starts to have a little bit more empathy and feels a little bad for him. So he ends up enlisting his help to get rid of the body and take it over to the junkyard and all that stuff. So that way he can dispose of him later with the dead body at the same time. You know, less work. You know what I'm saying? So they end up going over to the junkyard and all this stuff. And when they get there, he's getting rid of the body. They're disposing of it, going to crush the vehicle and whatnot. And I'm sure this is somewhere the Penguin has visited quite a few times on account of his own murders and Falcone's as well. And then he's about to actually kill Victor as well. And he's all, hey, look at the sunset, man. It looks nice. And he's like, hey, man, you don't got to do this shit, bro. Don't kill my ass. Come on. I can help you. I promise I won't snitch. Just don't kill my ass and leave me out here in this junkyard, bro. He's like, all right, fine. I'll give you a shot, kid. Because he kind of recognizes and sees a little bit of himself in the kid and sees that he's down on his luck and that this kid could actually use some of the benefits and rewards that come with this fucked up gangster lifestyle. You know what I mean? It feels like he can enlist his help in order to take him under his wing and make him his protege, if you will, the Robin to his Batman. You know what I mean? And that whole dynamic that they have throughout the episode to me was just so well done. And yeah, so the actor that played Victor, man, let me pull up his name just right quick, man, because I got to give this guy some love because I thought this guy was excellent, man. Let me see. What is this young man's name? But yeah, it's Victor Aguilar. I thought he was so good at just being like, just making you feel sorry for the character and relate to the character at the same time, even though you know he's getting into some shit he really shouldn't be getting into. Renzi Feliz is doing a phenomenal job, I must say, as the character of Victor Aguilar. Just absolutely phenomenal. But so that kind of sets up their whole dynamic and their whole team up throughout the rest of this episode, which is going to be a big part of the whole adventure of the series. So we end up, Penguin ends up getting called in to the Falcone's pad, and they're talking to him about shutting down the drop operation because the block is hot. You know what I'm saying? And cops are on their ass right now. They're also probably afraid of the Batman low key, but don't want to say anything because I guess they just don't want to mention Batman too many times in the show. But he's also another looming presence out there. So they're trying to shut down operations and move it to a new facility where it's off the grid, where the cops are not as privy to, so that way they can continue the operations at some point. But the Penguin's like, hey, what the fuck you trying to do here? We're gonna lose millions of dollars. What are you talking about? And don't cancel me, man. I'm just trying to do the Penguin voice. That's the voice, you know. But then we get introduced. And then, well, actually, sorry, let me set this up properly. The Penguin starts trying to come up with all these different ways of how to get out of the situation, and then freaking he drops the knowledge that he knows about some new operation that Alberto Falcone was setting up. And obviously, Alberto Falcone has gone missing since he shot his ass, and that's going to be a big contention for the people that he's working for, because none other than Sophia Falcone comes stepping in like, how the fuck do you know about that, bro? If you ain't seen him. You know what I'm saying? Because on the way in there, he was like, yeah, I ain't seen that fool, right? And she's like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? And she comes in off jump with this fucking intense ass presence that just fills up the fucking room and just takes over the screen, man. I got to pull up this actress as well. Kristen Milioti, that I think got a lot of hype from that movie Palm Springs like 4 or 5 years ago. But man, this actress comes in right here with this character and is a force of nature. She is the most intimidating person on the goddamn show. And Clancy Brown's in here. So that just goes to show you this woman is something fierce. And then she drops like nothing, like it ain't no thing, that she just got out of Arkham not too long ago. So that's fucking crazy in and of itself. And I'm like, oh shit, what'd she get locked up in there for? Is she actually crazy? And I think she is, because she got those crazy eyes, man. But she ain't playing around, and she ain't believing a single word that that Oswald's saying, man. She ain't buying none of it, because she knows him pretty well, because he's been working for the family for quite some time. So she ain't buying it whatsoever. And then she ends up later on wanting to set up dinner with him at this fancy restaurant that her dad used to take her to all the time. And they end up and it's essentially an interrogation. You know what I'm saying? Where she's trying to get fish information out of him and kind of see his response to her questions and kind of keep a casual conversation, kind of setting it up, if you will, to kind of lure him in and make him feel comfortable. And you could just tell the Penguin is definitely like trying his best to keep his cool and not give any tells or anything like that. And it's just a great game of cat and mouse between her being the cat and him being the mouse, bro. Straight up. El Rata, if you know what I'm talking about from the Batman. But yeah, man, she's definitely on to this fool. We ain't buying a single word that he's saying. And she's straight interrogating this fool for this entire scene. But there's also kind of a little bit of tension between the two, because it seems like he did something to kind of fuck her over in the past. So I don't know if they kind of dated for a while potentially, or something weird went down. I don't know. But, you know, you do got this real palpable tension for, you know, multiple layered reasons going on here. And this is one of my favorite scenes in the entire freaking episode, man. Just getting to see her go back and forth with Colin Farrell's Penguin, man, and just Christina Milioti, man. She's just fucking killing it in this role, man. Got those crazy eyes going, just so much. She's just chewing up scenery, man. And then you got Oswald Cobblepot after this dinner. He's like, I got to get the fuck out of Dodge. Victor, get the shit, get in the car. Let's get the fuck out of here, bro. He's like, Ma, I got these jewels for you. Let's pack up your shit. We got to get out of Gotham now. She's like, what are you talking about? We got to get out of Gotham. What did you do? He's all, hey, look, I shot Alberto Falcone, all right? Don't worry about it. It was impulsive. It was stupid. I know. Don't give me no shit right now. Let's get the hell out of here. And she's like, what are you talking about? Are you trying to run? Trying to be a coward, homie? Are you a pussy boy? Like, literally, that's what she says to him. Are you a pussy boy, bro? Like, are you going to run away? You didn't do that shit on purpose, man. I mean, on accident. You did it on purpose. It was instinctual. You knew you had to take this motherfucker out, man. And the whole dynamic that he has with his mother and this character is so fascinating, but fucked up at the same time. And I love it. And you can see from different family pictures on the wall in her place when he goes over there to his mother's that he definitely has some siblings or people that he grew up with that are not around anymore. So I think there's a lot of trauma and some fucked up things going on between them both throughout the years. It really bonds them together in a somewhat emotional and relatable way. But at the same time, you know there's some fucked up history going on there, and you could definitely see that she's a negative influence on this guy. Always has been and always seems to be. And now she gives him a new resolve to try to go into this thing and really become the Don Dada of this whole motherfucking situation. You know what I mean? Take over the whole corporation. So he starts spinning the wheels and starts getting his penguin plotting going on, and he wants to go pay a visit over to Sal Maroni, played by the great Clancy Brown, screen legend right there. And one fact I didn't want to bring up earlier, but I'm bringing it back around now. Alberto Falcone had a ring that his father, or that was passed down to him from his father, that his father had, that he took from Sal Maroni after a homeboy snitched him out. Falcone, that is, to get Sal Maroni locked up, and has been locked up here in Blackgate or Gotham, wherever the fuck, Gotham Prison, wherever the hell he's at. And the Penguin goes in there to try to talk to him about being a double agent and double crossing the Falcones in order to get him back in power and get him out of prison and get him back on top. So come on, man, don't you miss it? And he's all like, man, you're full of shit, bro. You're the one that sold us out to begin with, and you turning your fucking blind eye in the whole fucking drop operation when it's yo shit. You already know, bro. Like, you sold me out too. Like, you're part of the whole situation. You from that clique. You from that gang. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't fucking with any of y'all. So fuck off. Like, literally tells him to fuck off. Like, it's crazy. I love the dialogue of the show. But he's like, come on, man, think about it. So hold on. Before I go, here's a little something you might remember. And he gives him the ring, which I think is going to start getting the wheels turning in Sal Maroni's head. I don't know if he's actually going to want to team up with Oz Cobb, but I don't know. But it's very, very interesting. And as he continues going on, I'm out of images here. The Penguin leaves, you know what I mean? They end up doing their thing, and he's out, just driving along and whatnot. And then he ends up running into Sophia Falcone and the whole mob over there at the Iceberg Lounge, I think is where he was going when he was about to go pay it a visit real quick. He's like, oh, shit. He was going somewhere, ran into them. They end up chasing his ass down eventually, and he goes around this corner and hops out of the car, gets into the trunk to try to trick him real quick, but that doesn't work. He gets back into the car to try to drive away with the door still open. He's about to, get the car going again. Then some fool pops back up. He stabs him with the cigarette lighter in the car, in the fucking dome piece, or the eye of all places, and then the dude stumbles back and gets hit by a goddamn school bus, so that takes care of that. But then he ends up getting knocked the fuck out and then wakes up naked, tied to a chair, handcuffed, getting interrogated by Sophia again, because she definitely ain't buying what he's selling. She's smelling what he's cooking, and it's bullshit to her. And she's like, where the fuck is Alberto? Tell me he's alive, or I'm gonna cut your fucking arm off, without literally saying that. But she's giving him the crazy eyes, asking him questions. She found a kid that witnessed him with Victor at the time when they were trying to steal his rims. They got shot at, and they're saying he was there. And she's like, oh, so you were there on the night he disappeared at the last location we know he was going to, or something like that. And she's giving him those crazy eyes once again. He's like, come on, man, you gonna take some teenager's word over mine? She's like, well, are you saying he's lying? She's like, yeah. Shoots him in the fucking dome piece. And then she's just all up in fucking Penguin's grill. And then homie's getting tortured, about to get his fucking arm severed off with this like wire that they have tied around his arm, his shoulder, in between his arm right here. And they're just pulling on it and yanking it. And it's just ripping through the skin. And it's brutal, man. And they ain't playing. She's like, bro, you better tell me he's alive or he's somewhere, or give me an answer, because I'm about to cut your arm off right here. And then something crashes into the house, which is a car with a brick on the gas pedal. And then in the trunk of this car is none other than Alberto Falcone's carcass, with the pinky finger cut off, no ring from the Maronis, with payback written on the top of the hood. I mean, on the top of the trunk, in the inside on the trunk, with it flipped open once they open it and discover the body in there. Sofia Falcone freaks out, but now the Penguin has used his boy Victor over here to set up Sal Maroni as the people that did the murder and did the hit. So that way he'll start a gang war, and then he can pick up the pieces of whoever comes out on the other side. So I love what he's trying to do here and trying to get a step ahead of everybody. And the way that this all culminates by the end of the episode was just so on point, man. But that was pretty much the whole big setup right there for episode 1. And that's where we left off. They have a couple little slushy suicides to celebrate their victory. And then you go on out on a little 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. But this was the premiere episode, man. We recapped all that. And I think this whole gang war is going to come to a head potentially. And then Sofia Falcone, I think, still not going to really trust what Oswald's saying. But at the same time, I think her crew's going to want to push to see what the physical evidence is. And it's going to cause a whole entire fucking mishap. Where's things going to go with Victor? I think he may end up betraying him by the end of the day and going full Jason Todd on him. But what do y'all think? What do you think about this premiere episode? I absolutely loved it. Let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments and everything like that. Make sure you leave a like and anything like that. A dislike doesn't matter, because all the engagement helps with that algorithm, the almighty algorithm that controls whether your YouTube video is seen or not. So make sure you help us out in that regard. We got the What's the Word show that we do every single week here. There's going to be dropping today as well, where we cover all the big news, some of the big pop culture news topics throughout the week, or some interesting ones we didn't get a chance to do on any individual videos here on the channel. It's a weekly show, so make sure you hop on over to the playlist and whatever and check those out. We got 4 episodes up already, and the 5th dropping today. And then we're going to have weekly reviews here of The Penguin and Agatha All Along over there on Disney Plus. And spooky season's right around the corner. We got a lot of horror content and some fun stuff planned for that. And a ton of great stuff. Terrifier 3, Smile 2, Joker 2. A lot of sequels, a lot of creepy shit going on in October. So make sure you stay tuned. Don't sleep on any of the dopeness here on the channel. We'll catch you on the next one, y'all. Peace.